All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I believe this is session 18 of Zholymr Unbridled. Tell you what, this group is fired up and ready to go. We got some hot
Fire.
stuff coming your way. Some smoldering action.
Okay, you guys don't have to make fun of my building being on fire, okay?
Sorry for the slight delay. Michael's building caught on fire, but we're fine now. So, moving forward.
Just as I thought.
Just,
Trash.
yeah. But anyways, thank you for joining us for the session. I know we're a little bit off our normal schedule, but there's been a lot of really exciting life events with some players. We are missing our wonderful Elaine, played by Kate, today, but that is because she just got married last week. Woo! So very, very happy for her and her new husband. They had a wonderfully nerdy wedding, which is all you can ask for in a D&D player. So big congrats to them. We'll miss Kate today, but we'll be excited to have her back. Hopefully next session, but you know, they gotta do what they gotta do. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about what happened last session, because it has been a minute, but what a session it was. So we picked back up with our crew as they were at the Dawnbrook Research Facility. They had managed to make their way all the way there in the windswept wilds to find Jasper's wife.
My wife!
My wife!
After successfully sneaking in and gaining entry, they were able to fight their way through the facility, rescuing the other elves who were being held captive there, before delving deeper into the research facility and finding Hazel with... I already forgot his name. Hold, please. I believe Dr. Corvus, right?
Nope, it was
no.
Dr. Sexy Tiefling.
Dr. Sexy
Yeah,
Tiefling.
it was Sexy Tiefling. Yeah. That's his name now.
The head
ST.
researcher
Was
at the Dawnbrook facility
RIP.
was the head researcher. The group was able to take him down, not after, without a very tough fight, of which Jasper himself went down for a minute before finding an inner strength inside him, we'll say, and returning to the battle.
Yeah, and his party member just chugging a potion right in front of his dead body. It's fine.
And there was a truly great moment where Violet looked at him, chose to chug a healing potion for herself, and thankfully Elaine was able to get him back up.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm not lawful good.
But they were able to happily reunite husband and wife and daughter. Jasper's family brought back together for the first time in years. A lot of catching up, a lot of sharing information, and where we left the group was as they were making their way back through the windswept wilds to rendezvous with Captain Silas and his ship along the Titanic River. So, we will jump back now to the camp. Evening has come. Most people have...
Jump scare.
I'm sorry, I tried to mute on time.
We did not get a long rest. We were awoken from our slumber with an attack.
Oh man! All right. But yeah. So just to double check, was there anything anyone else was trying to do before you officially went down for the night?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I think Davina wanted to let out a cathartic scream and then hit the hay.
Not a girl.
I want to
Alrighty.
cuddle with my wife.
Alright, so Jasper is cuddled up with Hazel. Is anyone else, like, are you guys setting up watch for the night or anything like that?
Yeah, we have to because I think
Probably
all of the
should.
refugees are in the tiny hut.
That's right, you did make a tiny hut, but it fit only them and not you guys. True. Okay.
Yeah, so I can keep watch for part of the night.
Alrighty.
Is Hazel
so-
in the tent?
Does one of the elves want to watch for the rest of it?
They're banging. They're
Yeah, I
banging
was
in
gonna
the tent.
say Michael and Hazel and wait, but all the other refugees are in it.
We be fugging.
I think
Oh, that's true,
Davina
all
can
the
be. She's fuming, so she can take first watch. She's not tired.
Oh yeah, Davina was just got a lot of information dumped on her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Just
Okay, yeah, then
give
Davina, wake
us-
me up halfway through the night.
Give us like 4
Okay.
hours. I think we'll have our conjugal visit done by then.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Alright, so the group lays down to sleep. The refugees resting nicely in their Davina's tiny hut, where thankfully there is some soundproofing. The rest of you, unfortunately, do not have that luxury, as Jasper and
I am a
his wife.
generous lover. Let me
Oh.
tell you.
Oh, make it stop. I'm just gonna like lock eyes with Vel and Davina and be like, make it stop. Put up a sound barrier. Can anyone cast silence around us?
Silence.
No one, nothing.
Sorry.
You.
I cannot help.
All right.
The
Well,
sounds of nature.
you do, Vel and Violet eventually drift off, if it is not quite to the soundtrack you were hoping. So Davina, you take your watch for the night. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
18.
18. Okay. Last time you guys were in the Windswept Wilds, you did have the luxury of your tiny hut to stay in. And like I said, it does kind of provide a little bit of like that sound muffling, you know? So it was a little, even though you guys had a little bit of a scare with those creatures that came into your camp area, you were still relatively comfortable and safe. This time, it's a little bit more, uneasy. You just realize that there's a lot going on out there in the wilds. There's all sorts of noises. There's all sorts of calls. There's yelps. There's screams. There's what sounds like shifting of the earth at times. It's all very strange to you, and you can't quite make it out. You spend most of your time on watch trying to just like get a sense of what is happening around you from a place of curiosity, but also a place of like almost survival, where you're like, what? Like, I don't even know when something is potentially a problem based on what I'm hearing. So your ears and eyes are staying very sharp as your watch goes on. About 2 hours into your watch, you start to hear another sound. And what's interesting about this one is it's barely consistent in its rhythm. It's a very light thump, but it's soft, and right now you're still trying to pick it out amongst the chorus of other noises that are happening in the wilds.
I nudge Sal awake.
What?
There's something that I hear, something that I haven't been hearing all night.
I get more alert and I listen for it as well.
Go ahead and also give me a perception check, Violet.
Hey! I feel like it's been so long since I've had a chance to roll. Here we go.
Does it sound like it's getting closer?
Second.
That's a 19.
Okay. Violet, you've been nudged awake by Davina. You're not happy. Like, girl, I just fell asleep listening to that old man fucking.
Hey!
Give me a second.
Hey.
Until you also start to hear.
This old man got some vitality.
It does seem like it is. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's getting louder, but it seems like the sound is almost coalescing, in a way. Violet, your eyes dart in the direction that you hear the sound coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You notice way off in the distance it takes you a second to really be able to notice it, but because it's a movement, a motion, it does catch your eye. You notice that up in the sky, there is what looks like a small portion of the sky where the stars disappear.
Oh.
And it shifts ever so slightly as it seems to be making its way towards the
Okay.
general area.
Dev, there could be something in the sky. Do you see that? Oh no. And I like point out the darkness.
You see
I-
it
You
as
see that?
well, Davina. You the same thing. You notice it far off in the distance. This like small patch of black sky amongst a very starlit night out in the wilds.
Don't like that.
I don't like that either.
The sound
Really didn't want to have to wake up.
continues to grow in volume bit by bit as the dark patch of sky continues to kind of move in your area.
Okay.
Are we?
No
are
beauty
we in a
rest
pretty
tonight.
like? Are we in a pretty like? It's like grasslands, right? Like it's pretty flat. There's not really.
I'm gonna pick up like a pebble next to me and chuck it at Belle.
Wake Bell up.
You picked up like a pebble, you said?
Yeah.
There's no chance I noticed that. I'm literally an Earth Ganassi. I sleep in rocks.
It gets
No,
absorbed into his
no.
skin.
I'm gonna quickly as I can and as silently as I can go over and like shake you. Can you sleep like a rock?
Ah,
No.
ah.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be funny?
Racist.
No.
That was racist.
What? What is going on?
Not my best.
Wait. Shh. Quiet. Quiet.
Not to be racist, but Ganassi song.
Okay, this is getting closer.
Does that seem
Did it
like
stop?
anything I'd be familiar with in the wilds?
Go ahead and make a nature check for me.
Nature.
One.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Beautiful.
Me, I'm perceptive
What?
as fuck.
You listen closely. Boom, boom, boom. You realize that the noise that you're hearing is the sound of displaced air, gradients in air pressure. This is something flying with very large wings.
Belle, what is it? I'm gonna actually turn on my psychic whisper so that we can communicate more silently.
Anything that I would
3 hours.
know of that's of particular concern that would be flying out here?
So out here in the windswept wilds, there are definitely a lot of winged creatures. Being a place that's so wide and open, flight is a very efficient mode of transportation for a lot of creatures out here. There are things like rocks, things like some small dragons. There's definitely like creatures. The thing that's strange to you is the intensity of the sound that you're hearing and feeling is now starting to sort of like pulse a little bit through your chest, and given the distance away that it is, you're sort of pinpointing that the size of this thing is enormous.
We didn't get a long rest, right? But I would have at least gotten a short rest to get my warlock pact
Yeah, we short
spots
rested.
back.
Yeah,
I
I
specifically remember we short rested because I healed a bunch.
Well, I mean, even just in the
You
time
did.
since this has happened, I was sleeping for a little bit. I only need to be sleeping for what, like a half hour, something like that.
A couple hours, but you did
Okay.
you guys did also short rest pretty much right before bed anyways.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a pact spell slot to cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my flight gift. My elemental gift of flight. And I'm gonna go investigate.
Well, we just see you
Okay.
disappear, but we have the psychic.
Yeah, we have the link, yeah.
Yeah. Where did you just go?
Stay here. I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay. So you're heading up in the air towards the direction of the
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
Almost invisible.
Right. You're invisible. You are in the air. The noise for you, Vel, it's not really a noise anymore. It's becoming a physical sensation, right? It's like that, like, boom, boom, boom. It's like you can feel the air around you start to like, kind of like displace itself. As you start to get closer to this shape, you notice that what was a dark patch in the sky that was blotting out the stars, as you slowly get closer to it, it looks more like it's a black shape, a black sort of like, you know, thing, but it's like the starlight seems to bend around it, and it's almost like the light from the stars, as it hits it, it sort of swirls and like coalesces. You're getting closer to it now. You can actually see some physical movement as well. There is a flapping of wings. The wingspan on this thing is enormous. As it continues to get closer to you, you start to hear another noise. It's the wind. Slowly, kind of like a breeze. There's just, you know, as you get higher in the air, there's a breeze that's already around you. Wind is now starting to pick up. Whereas before you were just kind of gently holding yourself in the air, it's taking more strength for you now to stabilize yourself. The wind starts to become chaotic and errant. It's kind of like blustering and blowing you in different directions. As this thing continues to get closer, the sound of what you perceive to be the wing beats and the sound of the wind are almost blending into one, and it's becoming loud. This thing, as it gets closer to you, you realize it still has a good amount of height on you in terms of how far it is off the ground. It's, from a distance, it looked like it was moving fairly straight. It is also moving in sort of a very fluid, almost, motion through the air. But it seems to be moving in a general direction that you had seen before. The wind continues to howl. It's blowing faster and faster. Almost before you can even realize it, this thing passes right over you. And as it does, you hear another sound above the wind. It is a piercing thrill. It is the loudest eagle's cry that you have ever heard in your life. As that sound almost seems to pierce you, you can hear Vol in the back of your skull start to laugh. He starts to laugh and giggle. Within milliseconds, that immediately turns to like full-blown cackling, and he begins to mimic the cry that he just heard. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
$13.
13. I forgot. I didn't get my dice set up. Hold on. As this thing
Unacceptable.
passes over you and you find yourself in the wake of it, your body gets snapped in the air as you get sucked into literally the wake of this creature as it's moving. And you are going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. But you are able to stabilize yourself. but the wake is moving quickly, and you can see air and dust all around this thing as it continues to make its way out across the plains, getting closer and closer to the camp.
Is it heading towards the camp or just like it's going over it?
It has not changed its altitude.
Okay. I'll do my best to follow behind it. So do your best to hide down there if you can.
Violet hears that, and I'm already underneath a bush or something with Dev. The two of us are hidden.
I'm naked
Right,
in a
so-
tent.
You're naked in a tent. As this thing gets closer and the two of you are sort of bracing yourself for it, you undergo a similar experience in the sense of the thump of the wing beats sort of kind of merges with the sound of the wind, and as it passes over you, the wake from this thing does reach the ground, although not nearly as intense, but everything in the camp begins to blow, bluster, any loose papers, cloth, etc. gets ripped up into the air as if a mini tornado has passed through.
Does my tent get ripped up?
Yes, it does. It's ripped right out of the ground.
I will have you know, Jasper has a very, like I do in real life, Jasper has a very juicy, firm butt. Let it be known for anyone drawing him.
Jesus Christ.
Juicy, fat ass.
Okay. These things get ripped up into the air. This thing continues to make its way across the plains. As it's farther across, you all on the ground can now hear another cry before it continues its path. The
Am I
wind
still
What?
slowly starts to settle.
Did that wake me up or am I
Items that had
still
been
asleep?
blown up. That woke you up. It sounded like a freight train
Okay.
moving through. Everyone's pretty much woken up at this point. The wind does start to slowly die down. Items that had been thrown up in the air are slowly coming back down and settling. But a lot of the camp is very strewn about.
I throw our blanket over Hazel, and I just stride unabashedly out into the camp and just kind of like butt naked, like hands on my
Your
hip.
daughter is there, sir.
It do be sometimes. I look up and I'm just like
Hi.
waiting. I'm waiting for the tent to fall down. Also, my daughter's in the dome, I believe. Not.
It's a clear dome.
Juniper, don't look. And I'm just like waiting for like the tent to slowly like.
It does. It's now a ripped piece of cloth, basically, that has been ripped and torn in the wind, but it does settle its way back down.
I honestly think I would have rather just seen the monster.
Vol,
Val?
what the hell was that? I'm still invisible in the air at the moment. Before I come back down, I'm talking to Vol.
He is
Del, are you
also
alive?
coming down, but he's coming down from like a high. He kind of returns to Giggles again, and he says, like, "Did you feel it?
I feel what?
The power of our mother. The cry of her children."
Vol, I need you to speak so plainly for like 30 seconds. What the hell are you talking about?
The energy that we felt on top of the mountain in the chamber. It was
It
the
took-
same. You couldn't feel it.
It took shape?
Potentially. It's hard to tell. It didn't feel exactly the same. Almost like it was a smaller piece. was powerful.
Was it a lie? Was it a thing, or was it just like the wind, just a force that exists?
I don't know. I saw what you saw.
And that sent you into the giggles?
It felt so right. It felt so strong. When we ignited Dawnbrook yesterday, we said that this would be the start.
Of something new.
She told us to take back her world for her, and it's a sign.
Maybe, but we did what we had to at Dawnbrook. We have to help sew up these wounds, but we have to be careful not to rip open new ones at the same time.
You forget, Velterra, when a wound forms, when an infection spreads, the body goes into a state of fever. It's chaos. It's war. Parts of you burn away so you can emerge healed.
I think we have a lot more to learn still before we understand what's happening.
You know, I
Above
always want
table?
to learn.
You have created a monster.
I'll come back down to the camp, drop invisibility. I have no answers for anybody.
You
Did you
didn't
guys
see
see it?
anything?
As it flew over? Did you see it?
No. You told us to hide. You said that you were investigating.
I did investigate.
And you saw nothing. Did you feel anything?
Yeah, it's huge.
What could it be?
I don't know. Vol seems to think it was the same energy we encountered up at the seat. I can't tell if it was sentient, if it was just existing. I don't really know much about it. I have more questions than answers after having to go take a look.
Oh.
If we need one more thing on our plate right now.
I'm glad it wasn't
Yeah.
after us.
I don't know that it even acknowledged us. I think it didn't notice us the way you wouldn't notice an individual blade of grass. I don't think it cares. But I don't know.
Just another
Alright, I'm gonna go
strange
back to bed.
happening. Well, can you tell your friend to put some clothes on? I can't look in that direction.
Isn't he back in the tent at this point?
It's not a tent anymore.
It's a blanket, barely.
I'd offer my sack on a stick. But I
I'm
don't
gonna
wanna
walk over to Jasper, and I'm gonna use my second pack slot, and I'm gonna cast invisibility on him.
Jasper vanishes into thin air.
No, you. That's.
I
Yeah,
know that
now you don't have to
that
look
I'm
at him.
invisible, right?
Yeah.
You can cover it up, but it's still out there. And I like you hear a faint like as he's doing the like I don't know if you women know about this, but if you like are naked
Oh,
and you like
you
shake
don't need to explain it. You really don't need to explain it.
I just need
Vel's
no.
already gone back to bed, so.
I'll tell you what.
Violet's
I pegged Jasper for a lot of things. An exhibitionist was not one of them.
Hey, he's feeling real spicy now that he has his wife back. He's like, you know, I lost her once. We have to explore everything at this point.
Okay.
Violet
Well.
is just like this on the ground, like, oh, go back to sleep. Go back to sleep.
No.
No, stop it.
As you all begin to settle back down, you do notice something. It takes a minute. Davina, as you begin to settle back down again, you look over to your left, where a few hours ago, when you lay down to sleep, you had a companion there with you. Elaine is nowhere to be found.
Is there any sign of her like walking off? Where'd she go?
There are footsteps
What direction do they go?
heading south.
What?
Like towards the river, the same direction we're going. Whoa, Sal, do you know where she went? Elaine's missing.
Elaine's not here.
I mean, she's pretty hard to miss.
Maybe. I thought she was just keeping watch further out. Maybe she's doing that. Maybe she's just further out keeping watch. I'm gonna like look out. Do we see anything shiny? Like follow her footsteps a little bit. Do we see anything? Where could she have gone?
We're literally in the wilds. How would I know? She can't fly, can she?
She can't.
She can't fly.
No. No, she would have told us that. Only Vel keeps secrets about flying.
Literally
Okay.
exactly could fly. I did it immediately.
Well, we have to follow her. She's always with us.
She is. It's pretty flat, right? Like we can see pretty far. There's zero trace of her.
Nope.
Do we see any notes or anything left behind? I'm gonna start looking
Yeah,
around the
stuff.
tent.
Did she leave her stuff?
She left her.
She left her stuff?
Mhm.
Is there any like thing that I wouldn't recognize or anything that seems off?
Make an investigation check for me.
Yeah.
11.
28.
Oh.
28 investigation?
Mhm.
Holy shit! You look around, you see most of her stuff. It's hard to tell because a lot of it has been scattered. You do notice that her weapons are gone. Her greatsword is gone. As well as what did she have? I don't have her character sheet up in front of me, that's my bad. Oh well, I deleted my cache, so I can't pull it up right now. But yes, you notice that her weapons are gone. Her greatsword is gone.
Deb, she's never left us before like this.
No, never on her own.
No.
I mean, I did talk to her and told her to start putting herself first. Okay, here's the deal. I'm very concerned, but I'm also exhausted. And she's clearly very far away, which means I don't I don't know.
Let's. She might come back, right? In the morning. Let's.
Well, she's headed the direction we are, so hopefully we can catch up to her. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not
She's allowed to have her secrets.
Yeah, but the fact that she left without saying anything.
Do you think that she? I mean, she's been remembering more lately. And she mentioned the Tinkerer. I just hope that she didn't go off on her own to find them.
I
Just
mean,
speculating.
yeah, it's all very out of character for her. I don't know what to do. What do we do?
I think we should go now.
You think we're gonna pack everyone up and go now? Or just us?
Just us, just to follow her footsteps for a little bit. See where they go. She would do the same for us.
She would. She would. Okay. Just a few minutes, and then we're coming back straight back here. I need some rest.
Deal.
I follow Sal.
Question: if I put clothes on while I'm invisible, is it just floating clothes?
I think it just becomes invisible.
Okay.
I think it does, yeah.
Sorry.
Let it be known I'm not naked anymore.
All right. So, ladies, you're gonna go follow the footsteps.
Yeah.
Somebody give me a survival check, or someone can do it with advantage if you want to help.
Yeah, I'll help.
Help
Sal.
me.
I'm letting. Yeah.
Good thing, because my first roll was a 1. And my second was a fucking 2.
Are you serious? Oh,
I'm dead serious. So for a total of 5.
we know
So
nothing.
good. So
I was
good.
woken up in the dead of the night. Yeah, and so I'm discombobulated.
You guys start to try to follow the footsteps, but the giant wind tunnel that just passed through did not do so good at preserving footsteps in the dirt. They almost instantly become indecipherable from the rest of the ground around you, to the point where you barely get a quarter of a mile. They're lost you completely.
Dab,
This is pointless.
I lost her footsteps. We lost her.
I let her slip right through my finger.
We lost her. You can tell that Sal's having a bit of a moment because Elaine's been by our side for so long.
Okay. I like grab her by the shoulders and I just say, Sal, take a deep breath. We're all exhausted. We're all tired. We all just went through something. She's probably just figuring some stuff out. We will see her again. I don't know how soon, but we will. We'll find her. She would not have left us if it wasn't for a good reason. You know that. Let's get
I
some
do.
rest. Let's clear our heads and figure it out in the morning.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to borrow Sack on a Stick? Will that help you?
Well,
Well. Well.
Come on.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's not gonna rain, so I don't need sack on a stick, or at least it doesn't look like it's going to rain.
Okay.
Let's head back.
All right. So you guys.
I mean,
make your
maybe I'll use
way-
it for a pillow, Dev.
Sure. Go for
Take it, bundle it up. Extra bit of comfort.
Oh, Sack on a Stick. Okay.
No.
So you guys make your way back to the camp. Velterra and Jasper have pretty much fallen back asleep at this point. They've settled back down. You guys settle back down as well, even more uneasy, but you do manage to fall back asleep. And the night progresses. No other major entities seem to pass through your area, and you are all able to wake up in the morning with a long rest completed.
Oh, thank God.
I immediately look for Elaine.
So you get up from your sleep, Violet. You immediately do a 360, and you spot her seated at the far off the edge of the camp on a rock, just like seated cross-legged, staring off into the distance.
I shake Davina awake. She's back.
See?
Elaine
I
is
told
back.
you. I told you.
I'm gonna walk over to her. Elaine.
Okay.
Hey.
Kind of like slowly turns her head to look at you.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay.
Are we ready
Did you...
to roll out?
I look around. Are we ready to roll out?
People are like slowly waking up and starting to gather their shit.
roll out. Roll out.
Well, probably in a few minutes.
Okay, well, I'm ready to go. And she kind of stands up and just walks over into camp and starts to help just like pick up stuff. And then she looks around and she goes, "Strong wind last night, I guess."
Yeah, did it blow you away from camp?
It's going to take more than a breeze to blow me away from camp.
I know that. But did you experience anything last night, Elaine? We noticed that you left camp.
She looks at you very puzzled. And she says, "Well, I did have another strange dream, I guess you could call it, but I stayed in my spot the whole night. It is my duty as sentry."
I just look at Sal and give her like a little not now.
I think the wind and seeing that creature just startled me. You're right. You were here. Sorry. I'm sorry, Elaine. It's been a long night.
She looks at you puzzled again and she says, "Creature, what creature?"
Well, I wish I knew. The one that blocked out the stars? The one that blew the wind?
Violet, did you have another issue with your shadow?
Luckily, no.
No.
Luckily. I would tell you if I did, but no, Dad, back me up, right? I'm not seeing things. This
Elaine
time.
turns to look at you, Davina, and there's almost a worried look on her face.
So now I've got to gaslight one. I have to pick between who I gaslight.
Gaslight,
Choose
gatekeep,
wisely.
girl boss. Gotta pick.
Oh my god.
But
I look at Elaine and oh my god. I just say we did have something happen last night. It must have been while you were in your sentry mode. We can catch nothing really important happen. We can catch you up later.
She nods, seeming to look a little bit more relieved, but still sort of like, yes, I think whatever happened last night with the vision I had, it might have distracted me more than usual. But I do apologize if you were under any duress that I couldn't help with.
No, no, no,
no,
no.
no, no.
If Elaine, if you're learning more about whatever happened to you, then I'm happy that you're getting answers.
Yes, me too. I still have to let it process, but I will share with you later what I
When you're
experienced.
ready.
She kind of turns and just goes back to picking up the pieces around camp.
I'm just gonna look at Dev with wide eyes.
And I'm gonna look right at her and say, be cool, be fucking cool. Whatever this is fucking weird.
She's a sleepwalker now.
Or a sleep disappear. Is that the
Yeah.
thing?
A sleep phaser.
She's a sleep phaser. She's a dream walker. Shit. Okay, but yeah. Nothing more about the
alright.
creature.
Well, I think whatever it is, it's obviously tied to Elaine. She disappeared for that whole thing. She doesn't remember it at all. And then Vol had some experience.
Ooh. Yeah, maybe Elaine was just hysterical laughing in the forest somewhere alone. Best case.
That sounds really evil and maniacal. I hope that wasn't the case. So.
Yeah, it's weird. Ugh.
Hey,
Let's
yeah,
get out of the
gonna,
wilds.
yeah, we're gonna keep tabs on that though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's get out of here. All right.
Righty.
I'm gonna just start going up to everyone and be like, "We're moving out. 1 minute. Chop chop."
Righty. Anything else anyone's doing as you're kind of putting yourself together for camp?
Nah.
All right. So in that case, you are all able to gather your belongings. You're only about a half a day, not even, barely a half a day's trip to the river, where you should, be able to make it there before noon. So everyone gets their stuff. You make your way down through the wilds. Aside from the random smattering of things that happen in the wilds, nothing else too substantial happens. You make your way down to the river. As you get closer, you do see along the edge of the river the one lone sail of the lone Kruthic sticking up as it is kind of sloppily moored along the edge of the river. Making your way over?
Yep.
Alright. So you make your way over. As you get closer, you can hear, like, very loud, ribbled singing as Captain Silas is almost like scream singing in Dwarvish, just like to himself on the deck of the ship.
Can I start joining him from a distance? Do I know the song? I know Dwarvish.
Go ahead and make a history check for me.
once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was a Beliote.
15.
15. As you get closer, the sounds do start to form into words. You realize that he is singing an anthem of the mountain dwarves. It is almost, it's sort of like a patriotic song to them, so to speak. The lyrics speak deeply of their connection to the mountains, and to their clans as well, and the generations of dwarves that have called the Roman Keeks home.
Okay.
So you start to like belt out a couple verses with him. It's one you've studied in your cultures and history class, you know, amongst your education in the capital. And then he stops singing and he hears you, and he goes, "Oh, you found me after all! I was worried."
Worried for us. Well, we appreciate it.
Oh,
But
I
no
should
need.
have known better. Here, and he takes this like very sloppily, like it looks like he's been hand building it over the last couple of days. He'd been chopping up planks, and he has 2 pieces of rope, and he's created this like. You ever see those things at like ropes courses where it's the 2 ropes and there's like wood in the middle and you have to like make your way across?
Yeah.
Or like those things at carnivals where it's like they're only attached to 1 rope but you have to like stay balanced to like walk across. It kind of looks like that. And he just like throws it over and it creates this very like shitty floating sort of like little ladder thing to get over to the ship, because unfortunately because of some of the vegetation and other stuff he can't bring the ship up to the river. Well, are you coming aboard?
Oh yeah, but we've got a few extras with us.
He like leans over the
There
railing
we
and he
go
looks
again.
and he says, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a tight squeeze.
We'll make it work.
Just to Verkhova.
Yeah, well, welcome one and all. Come aboard. And he sort of just like gestures wildly, telling everyone to get on the boat.
I'm really happy to see him.
Okay.
Any problems while we were gone?
Quite, I had a couple Delesian vessels trying to, you know, shake me down a little bit, but once I showed them my crazy side, they backed off.
I bet it was your singing. Just kidding. Just kidding.
You laugh, Lassie, but the dwarves are known for their battle hymns.
Maybe you could teach me one.
Happily, but for now, get on the ship.
I'm going to take a step back and let all of the elves go first.
So the elves slowly start to make their way across. They kind of like look at this thing and they're like, "Oh God, okay," but they're like, "Whatever." After what we've just dealt with, fine. They make their way across. Silas is up at the top as people are coming on. He's sort of like grabbing them, like throwing them over the side of the railing. He's like,
Yes.
"Yo, next one, very good." And like they one by one make their way onto the ship, and then you guys are able to follow.
Very upset that I'm not able to put Diggy Diggy Hole on the Spotify Jam right now.
Yikes.
Why aren't you? Oh, because the stream.
Yeah. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy diggy hole. Diggy diggy.
How is that different than not putting it on the stream?
They don't get the, like, it's harder to pick up, you know, when it's sung shittily by me.
Hey guys, I can't say this word, but the word is...
Here's the whole song.
That's not
Um,
the whole song.
I'm taking a look at the elves as they board. Are they looking okay? Like everyone doesn't seem like they're having any residual effects of.
They're looking better. Some of them are a little shaken from the night before. They knew that there was the risk that like the wilds were going to be bumpy,
Okay.
and it definitely was. But there's seeing a boat there waiting for them. You could tell some of them have really had their spirits lifted from seeing people there actually like willing to help them.
Okay.
So
I will board last.
okay. So as you all board, the captain kind of pulls you around, and he just takes a little bit of time with you guys to like look at the map, see where you guys have ended up. So if folks have Roll20 open, I think actually all of you do. Great. So you all meet up with him pretty much like right where you said you would, which is like right here. And so he just is kind of showing you the course that you also have to travel, right? So you guys have to make your way south before you continue to head east. He mentions that that should be, you know, probably about another couple days before you make your way all the way down into kind of the heart of Verkhova, where the river starts to meet the capital and becomes more accessible that way.
Cool. I do let him know that the plan is basically to let off the elves right around here.
Okay.
And then they can make their way over to Verdana. Well, down to Tilo, sorry, through Verdana.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of gives you like the nod, like, yep, sounds good. And y'all continue your sailing for the day. It's still a little before noon, maybe like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. And y'all just make your way. Anything folks want to do at all or think about while you're on the ship, or we just want to keep moving forward?
I want to mess around with my ammunition.
Okay.
I just want to, like, I have a shit ton of, like, regular bullets. And so I kind of just want to, like, spend the day looking at it. And, like, if I can, trying to take it apart, figure out how it works.
The gun?
No, the ammunition.
Okay. Trying to take it apart and see how it works.
Yeah, because isn't it like a magic
bullet?
bullet?
I mean,
Or is it just a bullet?
Or the ones that you got from the doctor?
Well, yeah, I thought you said that they're not just like black powder bullets. I thought they were like kind of magical or whatever.
well, the mechanics of the gun itself, yes, it uses, it's like a crux-powered weapon. The same way a regular gun uses the small combustion from gunpowder to fire the bullet out of the gun.
So the bullet is
This
regular.
uses-
Okay.
Yes.
Then I want to spend time with the rifle and just get, like, over the next couple days, just get very acquainted with the rifle, since I'm not as comfortable with it as I am with the pistols. I just want to, and I'll do it while I'm doing it. I probably will bring in Juniper and kind of go through it with her as well, and kind of as I'm doing it, like showing her like what's different between the rifle and the pistol, because I know the pistols very well, and so like I'm kind of just like talking through the process, daddy-daughter style.
Sure. She's very attentive throughout this whole thing. She watches and listens extremely closely, and you notice that as you start to practice with her, she's picking it up extremely fast in terms of how these things work and how to use them.
That's my girl.
Violet is going to kind of stand in the front of the ship, so that there is as much wind in her hair as possible, and look to Dev and be like,
I'll join you.
after a few minutes of just soaking in the wind in our faces, I'm gonna turn and be like, "So, you got your hands dirty? I mean, I know you're wearing gloves, but you got your hands dirty for the first time."
Uh, I, I did. I did. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, especially with the level of involvement with my father.
Yeah, what a sneaky bastard.
It's not only that, but he. I mean, this is a lot, Sal. This has been going on for a long time. This is a huge operation. He could have brought me in at any point. He either doesn't trust me or he thinks I'm a fucking idiot.
Is there a third option where he wanted to keep you safe?
Seriously, don't make me laugh.
Okay. Jokes. Yeah, he conniving little bitch. I mean, he's in it deep, Dev, and he's kept this a secret from you for all these years.
Yeah. And I'm regretting the way I cut Corbin off because I feel like maybe he would have given me more information since he works for Novar, but I mean, this is so fucked. I'm I'm pissed. I'm pissed at him. Why? If he can't trust me, then what am I even doing in Verkhova? Why am I there? If he thinks I'm a fucking idiot, then yeah, why am I there? What's the point?
I
Why
mean,
doesn't he just put me out to fucking pasture? Like,
no, because we were both in Verkhova at that stupid set of games for the same reason. He wants you in with the elites, but not with the knowledge that he has.
so I could be another tool in his belt. I'm not
Yeah,
so that I can
be a partner
learn
in it.
and yeah.
No, he wants to use you, Dev. It
Yeah.
sucks.
I'm honestly I'm ready to say fuck it and make him regret ever underestimating me.
I like the sound of that. Because the real question is, what are we going to do about him now?
I think that's too big of a question to answer right now.
Okay. I mean, I don't want you to have to turn on your father and your dad and put him in the camp of being with the enemy, but Dev, the signs are not looking good.
No, and I have to think back over what he could possibly know. Uh,
So maybe the better question, and it's a big one too, is how can we use him? How can we flip the tables on him?
I don't know. I've never
Well,
considered it, but I have a feeling before all this is done, I'm going to do a lot that I'm going to regret, but
well, where is Corbin these days?
uh, probably being a little bitch with his head off Novar's
Yeah,
ass, but I don't
I
know.
mean,
I
he
sent him that
owes you.
letter. He owes me big, but he gave me nothing in his letter. So,
Hey, what do you think about an arm
um,
for an arm? Like, if I ever run into him,
I really appreciate the sentiment, Sal, and I will let you be the first to do so. But let's hold off on that. Let's use it as a threat, as opposed to an actual action at this point.
okay.
I'll let you imply. I'll let you have fun implying.
Can I play with it? Okay, him. I mean,
If it gets
yeah.
let's be diplomatic first, and then if he refuses, then You know, good cop, bad cop. Come on, we can do this.
Bad cop, bad cop.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad cop, somewhat okay cop. That sounds great. Yeah,
Bad cop. Fuck you, cop.
I, I
Morally
won't.
gray, bad cop.
Yes. Yeah, but could it be worth paying him a visit?
I feel like he's gonna be the easiest one to get some information out of if they tell him anything at all, but who knows?
I'd like to
And
see him.
I'm not looking forward to it, but we will have to make a stop to my father.
I am looking forward to that.
Sal, please keep your mouth shut. I love you, dear God, I love you, but please.
My lips are sealed. Plus, in that situation, you are doing all of the talking. I will just
Yeah, it's
be
gonna
there
be
by
hard
your
enough with
side.
him as it is. And I've never been so on the back foot with him before, so this will be interesting.
Hmm. Well, don't forget to clean the sword. You got a little blood on it, or oil.
Oh,
Because it's yeah.
yeah, you do you want to do that for me?
Yes, I can.
Like take
I'll
it out, like
give it here, give it here. I put it in one of my open scabbards, and I'll be like, I got you. But we have to work on your stabbing form. I think that you have to put a little bit more umph behind it. Like it's not just your arm; you have to use your whole body. So if you want to practice that at any point, let me know.
okay, yeah,
But flawless overall, Dev, flawless as
thank you.
usual.
Yeah, all those lessons didn't go to waste. But so yeah, I think I'll do as we travel. I'll do a few lessons with Sal, and then I'll keep singing with Silas off and on. Try to keep the mood on the boat up.
Excellent.
The other thing I'm going to do is travel to visit Jasper and get my ring of disguise back before we get anywhere close to Verkhova.
Juniper has it,
Good
not
call.
me.
Oh, Juniper has it now.
Has it.
Okay, I'll go over to Juniper and chat with her.
All right, so you head
Hey,
over
Juniper.
to where Juniper is. She's got a pistol pointed at a bottle that's up on the how's it called, like the railing, I guess, of the ship.
You're really quiet, Theo.
I lowered it because I saw I was echoing again. We'll see what happens. If there's more of an echo, then okay. You see her standing there. She's got a pistol. She's taking aim. She shoots it. The bottle explodes. She kind of looks at it. She's like, and then she goes, "Oh, sorry, Violet.
No,
Hey, how's it going?"
I think you're a natural. Kind of just like your dad with that kind of aim.
Yeah, well, he's been a good teacher today, and I've been watching the guards and everyone else use him at the facility for so long. It almost feels easy once it's in my hand.
Hey, Kay, what do you think comes next for you?
I don't know. Mom's been talking about the need to get back home and make sure it stays safe, and I just keep thinking about, she kind of like looks around, like all these people who have had their whole lives changed and lost loved ones, and if I'm lucky enough to have gotten mine back, I want to do everything I can to make sure it doesn't happen to other people.
No.
Whatever's happening and whatever's coming for Tilo Asari, I don't want to feel powerless when it gets there.
I can already tell you with what I've seen in the past few days with you, you're far from powerless. Without
smirks.
you, we wouldn't have saved all these people. Juniper, it was you who led us there. It was you who got out. It was you who showed resilience and led us back to the same place where you were captured and tortured for months. You can do anything from here on out.
She kind of smirks, and she goes, "Yeah, I think I'm beginning to believe that."
And you really did a good job watching over my ring of disguise. But I'm going to need that back.
Oh, sure. And she slips it off her finger and drops it in your hand.
Thank you. But if you ever need anything that, or you just don't want to go to your dad about it, you can come to me. And Dev, we have your back. If you want to get into any trouble, too.
She flashes another evil smirk. She kind of like gives like a cute little nod.
I'm going to take off one of my daggers. And I'm going to hand it to her. For when
She's gonna
we
take
fight
it.
together next.
She's gonna like flip it around in her fingers a little bit and kind of just like feel it out. Thanks, Violet.
No thanks needed. Use it well. And don't lose it. And then I'll turn and walk away.
As you turn, she's gonna softly call out from behind you, "Violet."
Yeah?
How did you get to be so strong and fearless? And I don't know, I look at you and I think if she can be that brazen and that bold, how do you do it?
I wasn't always like this. But I realized that I just had to stop listening to the people who are giving me really shitty advice or telling me how to live my life.
Like dark gods.
Yeah, so
maybe? Sorry. Nope, that wasn't me.
I realized, Juniper, that I was allowed to want things for myself. And just like you're looking for that power, I had to realize that I had it all along. And I just had to realize it. And once I did that, I left those people behind. And I just decided to forge my own path. And I met some really great people along the way who helped me. And I look over at Dev.
I give them both a wink.
Well, I'm glad that path that you forged led you to my dad.
I think that was an accident. But no, actually, all jokes aside, me too. Don't tell him I said that, though. I'll like get a really big head and think I like him or something, But people surprise you. And so take a good look around, realize who has your back, and stick with them.
She shoots a glance over at the young boy that she had been traveling with. I believe his name was Garnet. And she kind of like gives a little smirk and then looks back at you and nods again.
I give her the acknowledgement of Garnet being like, and then walk away.
Alrighty.
Love that for Juniper. Jasper might be a little mad if there's a little love story. Ooh.
He already did that last time to Garnet. He like did the whole dad like,
Oh, did he? Oh,
What are your
intentions with
intentions?
my daughter?
Yep, and then I realized he's just a little beta male like me, and I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Okay. Anything else as we're sailing?
Did I talk to Hazel about, like, if she had any, like, powers surface because of the druggy drugs?
I think so.
Okay, I want to have that conversation with her.
Sure. She basically tells you no, she did not have any powers surface. In fact, just the opposite. She actually felt a lot of the time her powers waned significantly.
Interesting.
Yes.
With that kind of in my, when she tells me that, I kind of want to go elf to elf at this point, now that we're like safe on the boat and some time has passed since the facility, and just talk to each of them about their experience in the facility, see if any patterns are emerging from being subjected to tests and things like that.
Sure. So, as you're having these conversations, you hear similar stories. Some people didn't feel much at all. Some people, like Hazel, felt severely weakened by whatever they were being subjected to. It was this like an extreme discomfort, like a fatigue. They described it like as a fatigue that they've never felt before, and were never sure if they would ever escape. But then it always did seem eventually to wear off. You do hear over the course of the testing, there were 2 other individuals, a male and a female, who were at this facility. They both seemed to have more powerful reactions to these, and within days of these tests, they were removed from the facility.
Gotcha. So it's not 100% efficacy. Are there any, when I'm talking to these people, based on their backgrounds, on their pre-existing skill sets, is there a pattern? Do I get as much information about the 2 people who were taken away? Like, what was their background? What did they do in Tilosari before they were taken? Just trying to, like, create a mental map of, to see if there's any sort of connections between pre-existing skills or occupations or what have you, and their proclivity to being reactive to these drugs.
Sure. So most of the people there, this is something that Violet had discovered as well when she was having conversations with them the first time. Almost everyone is there because they have a relative who is of pretty significant importance in Elven culture. That seems to be like the main thing that kind of unifies them together. The female that was taken away, she was previously in Tilo Asari, she was a monk at the Temple of Mara.
Monk as in battle monk, or monk as in like
So
brew and
Mara,
beer?
as the god of kind of like fear and mortality, the monks there are very, like, they can fight, but their whole existence is very sort of like existential, and
So
it's
taking people on ayahuasca trips.
kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then the male that was taken.
The male that was taken just had he was just a really well-trained fighter. Like he had
Okay.
he had a background in fighting. He served.
Yep.
In
But there
sort
were
of the special,
no other people there were fighters. So it seems
No.
So it seems like anyone who has like a proclivity towards violence does react. Violence or intimidation or something of that nature have a proclivity towards reacting with the serum.
A little bit. I mean, like, yes, these people seemed to themselves be like already come with some pretty enhanced power, but like some of the other people there are also, they do also have like a background, like
Okay.
they've also served.
Okay.
So
So it seems kind of more like a crapshoot kind of thing.
at least from this sample size, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to see if I can draw any sort of conclusion. Okay. Yeah. That's all. Do I learn anything about the rifle as I'm studying it over these several days?
I mean, you're able to like kind of
Take it apart
learn.
and clean it and stuff.
Yeah, like you're starting to kind of understand what the slight differences are in terms of having a firearm of like this size work versus just the pistols that you've worked with before.
Cool. I fucked my wife.
Okay. Anything else from anyone?
My wife.
No.
I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
All right.
Oh, I thought that was you, like
No.
actually saying it.
Oh no, I said it and then I think Eric pressed the button.
Of course I did.
My wife.
I think are we going through like multiple days of this, or is this just we're talking about
This
one?
has just been the one day so far.
Okay. I think at some point I'm gonna grab the Vol's vessel and I'll go into the vessel
Yeah.
kind of
go for it.
hang out with him a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably head in there, and then I don't have any new books for him though. Well, did you read?
For knowledge?
Did you read all those books already?
I did read all these books already.
We should probably get you some new ones then, huh?
Give Vol smut. Give Vol smut.
I would very much like to learn something new from a new book, if we can find one.
We'll be able to find some in the capital, I know. I don't know. What did you take from the books? What'd you learn? Hobbs, go away. Hobbs took my cord.
Hobbsy boy.
He goes, I learned a lot about people, about towns and cities, and how towns and cities come together to form countries and empires, and rulers rise and fall, and empires swell and shrink.
And how do you feel about the things you've learned? Oh, just didn't want to know.
Just said fuck you.
Oops.
Oopsie doopsie poopsie.
He says, I think it's funny. These people, just like me, they're only here for so little time. But they try and do so much. But it doesn't matter. Someone else just comes along and changes it, undoes it, improves upon it just for someone else to come along and make it even worse. Meanwhile, the sun travels across the sky. The tides move back and forth, back and forth.
You think it doesn't matter?
I think they try too hard.
Maybe. But I think just because something is temporary or could be improved upon or changed, I don't know. I don't think that lessens it necessarily. I mean, you read these books about the history, and in a few years somebody will write a better book, but that doesn't change the experience you had with this one or the things you learned.
No. But what does change, these books, and he points over to the stack that are kind of neatly on the ground. These books came from great trees in a proud forest. And somebody came along and took those trees and turned them into books. But as you say, these books won't matter because someone will come along and write better books. And to do that, they'll take more trees. And yes, it changes. And yes, maybe the books are important to the people of now. But that forest, well, that's different forever, isn't it?
But you could never have the better book without having the first book. You could never get to that point unless somebody had read the words first.
Yes, that is how humanity seems to function. You're like beads on a strand, each falling into place and hitting the one in front of it.
It's true. But I don't know. Sometimes I wonder what we're able to change and what we should change. I don't think those are always the same.
The only ones who can truly change the world are the Pentamont. They are the world.
And I suppose any smaller changes are just perhaps through a vehicle like us, but them ultimately controlling it, affecting it.
Yes. It's interesting to think about.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't expect to learn much more about the Pentamont from the Capitol. They've purged most of that history from their records.
Yes, I imagine they would. From what I've learned from their history, the Pentamont were not too kind to them.
No, but I don't know. Sometimes it seems self-serving that they decided on these new oh god, what's the word for a group of gods? Why am I blanking?
Pantheon?
Pantheon, thank you. I kept saying Pentamont in my head and I was like, I know it's not it.
Parthenon.
It seems self-serving that they would create this new pantheon that seems to be within their control, their sphere of influence.
Yes. It's like I mentioned, it's funny what people think they can do.
It's not always what they think they can do. Sometimes it is, in fact, what they are able to do. But again, what they are able to change and what they should change are not always the same.
No. And I think it a little silly that a creature that is here for but a breath thinks they have the power to change everything around them.
I mean, I argue that sometimes they do have the power, it's just they don't always have the right.
Who does have the right?
The Pentamont, I guess. And those who they give authority to.
But do they?
Authority, power, control. But the Pentamont are the embodiment of Chaotic freedom.
Well, maybe we'll figure that out yet.
Yes, the pieces of this puzzle are slowly starting to slot into place. Don't you think?
Very slowly. But that's enough of that for now. Have you ever tried jerky?
No.
I'm gonna pull out jerky that I have from my pack that I brought with me into the vessel. I'm gonna share a
He's gonna-
snack with him.
He's gonna reach out and take it because he has no mouth or stomach.
Oh, that's
He
right.
takes the jerky and he just like holds it and it glows like bluish purple and just like absorbs into his essence. And he's just like, that felt salty.
Yeah, you want some more? I'm gonna hang out with him for a little bit and just share
His blood pressure goes through
a
the roof.
snack.
He turns into Theo.
Oh, have you ever had Domino's?
Dominoes.
Oh my god, those fucking 1 a.m. wake ups where I have to drink 7 gallons of water.
Oh yeah, the best water you've ever had.
The best water I've ever had.
Here, let me go let these dogs out. They're bothering me. All right, that's it for me.
Okay. Alright, so y'all have been enjoying these, moments amongst yourselves. The ship continues to sail. The sun does start to dip in the sky. It's definitely late afternoon at this point.
Oh, we long rested.
You did long rest before, yes. The captain kind of like shouts out as y'all are going down. He's like, "We should be approaching the Nimbus Bridge any moment now. Be sure to dip your heads." Okay. So, y'all are continuing to sail. And then you hear him call out again from where he's standing. You see he's got the big like cartoonish goggles that like extend. Like remember we said it's like Mole from Atlantis? He's got them and he's looking ahead and he just goes, "Uh-oh."
Uh-oh, do you want to elaborate?
Well,
Well,
it appears the bridge is not a bridge anymore. It's a pile of stones. It fell. There's no bridge anymore.
is it in the way now?
Yeah. Yeah. My little ship can't cross through a pile of stones.
Okay, where on the map are we roughly?
Is it like
So
right?
the Nimbus Bridge is right here. Oops.
Yeah, that's where I figured. It's where the train tracks cross the river.
Oh. Can you guys hear me okay with my switch over? Yeah, okay, good. Did I miss Vol admitting that he's actually the evil being and wants to kill us all?
No,
You did
he's
not
just
admit any
talking
such
about
thing.
how humans don't have the rights to turn trees into books.
Very philosophical discussion. It was all very heady, nothing practical, nothing literal. Could not be applied to real life in any way. Don't worry about it.
Perfect. Alright.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys have been approaching the Nimbus Bridge. To the Delesian folks, Davina and Violet, you know this bridge very well. It's this big towering bridge that has these like beautiful murals of clouds painted all over it, and it crosses the Titanic River at one of its sort of thinner points, and the hover rail and also like the cart track that goes all the way up to Galebreak and beyond comes through across that point and continues south.
But it has been
There we go.
kablooied.
It has been kablooied.
Does it look
Is
does it look like it collapsed, or does it look like it was sabotaged?
Mm-hmm.
So as you guys get closer, somebody make a... Let's see, is that perception or investigation?
Probably investigation, even though
Probably
I don't want it to be.
investigation. Although you guys are a little far away at this point too, so I would say at this point whoever's gonna make it makes it at disadvantage because fine details like that is tough.
I'm not smart.
go Sal.
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right. I'm familiar with
help
the
her.
area. See what I see. Okay. Some of them. Oh no. I rolled an 11 and a 2.
You and your twos today.
You and your
I
twos.
know, a 2. So if it's investigation, then it's an 11. If
Okay.
it's perception, it's an 8.
It's kind of hard to, like I said, it's hard to tell where you're from. You guys are still a little bit of ways off on the river. But I mean, what you can see is the bridge is down in like pretty large chunks. Take that as you will.
This is a pretty highly trafficked bridge, correct?
Correct.
And there's no sign of movement or anyone on either side.
So, as you guys get closer,
Mm.
on the northern, what do you call it? I guess shore? Isn't there like another word for that? Like the northern
Bank?
Bank.
edge of the river?
Bank.
On the northern bank of the river, as you guys get closer, you see massive movement, crowds.
Oh,
There are tents set up. There's a lot of kind of people like moving around.
People do be stuck.
Oh,
and
this
we
is
have
not
all these
good.
we have all these refugee elves on the boat. Wait,
Yep.
can we stop it as far away as possible?
I agree with Deb. I think we need to
Is there any movement on the
some
southern
safe to have them
bank?
leave.
No.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We would need to get on the northern bank. Fuck.
For them to be able to get to where they want to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Silas, take us off the river. Let's is there anywhere, Silas, that we can pull over and kind of dump the refugees?
Sure, I'll see what I can find. And he kind of just like takes his goggles and he's like scanning. And then he like very kind of harshly like jerks the ship. Immediately, port side. And y'all slowly start to list your way over to the side. And you do get close enough to where the bank dips a little bit.
Okay, Jasper.
All right, cloaks up, everybody.
Are you like pulling
Are
people off?
we
Yeah.
yeah, are we helping them off cuz are we going to get off on the south side?
Oh.
We should maybe go investigate what's going on
Yeah,
before we
this-
just leave them by themselves.
This was not the plan. Yeah, I would say cloaks up, get everybody off the boat, and then
And go figure it out.
Go figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So everyone kind of like neat and orderly gets off the vessel. And y'all get off as well. And Silas kind of gives you like a salute, like, I'll be here.
I'll head in the direction of the bridge with anybody that wants to follow.
I will join.
I'll go too.
Okay. You guys are making your way
Uh,
down.
Yeah, as we approach, I'm gonna keep my hood up and do my best to see if I can find whoever looks like they might be in charge. I don't know if there's soldiers here guarding it, or if I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna look for somebody who knows what's going on.
Definitely. Okay. As you guys start to get close, you notice that this whole area is a little chaotic. there's a lot of people moving. There's a lot of people kind of like shouting at each other. As you get closer, you do see there are soldiers dressed in Delesian uniforms who are there trying to kind of like corral people, but like they're being yelled at a lot by the people all around them.
A cab.
You you hear. Are you guys like continuing to kind of like approach the area?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys make your way over. You notice that amongst like just all of the chaos, you guys just kind of like slip in really easily. There's just so much happening and so much movement. You hear people again like shouting at some of the soldiers, and they're saying things like, "What do you expect us to do now? Like, you said there would be safety this way. You promised you would get us to Verkhova." And then another woman is sort of like, she's starting to kind of like sob, and she's like, "We lost everything in Galebreak, and now we're stuck here in the middle of nowhere." Like another one is like, there's like kids crying, sort of like, "Mom, so you like, what do we do? Like, why haven't we had dinner?" There's like men, same thing, like shouting at the soldiers. You notice as you make your way through a little bit more, there is a gold cloak that is kind of going from group to group, trying the best that he can to kind of like
Stop.
stop, like
Do I
just try. Go ahead.
Do I recognize him?
Davina, you do not recognize him. Violet, as someone whose family has an estate and a villa in Galebreak due to its proximity to the mines of the Roaming Peaks. This is somebody that you've known from your past. This is Gold Cloak Viren. He is the half-elf. He's the half-elf who resided and was basically assigned to Galebreak.
All right, my eyes are gonna go wide. I'm gonna just double check that my ring of disguise is activated. Turn to Dev and Val and be like, okay, I know that one. Walk over to him. What's that sound?
It's the freaking dogs playing, guys.
It sounded like
That's so
someone like
cute.
humming a song.
The people yelling, the people from Galebreak. I'll go over to Varen and be like,
This man is stressed the fuck out. He is sort of like buzzing around the groups, and he sees you kind of get his attention, and
Hey.
he finishes up with the family that he's talking to, and then he comes over to you and he goes, "Yes, I know. I'm doing everything that I can to assist everyone."
Varen. Yeah, that's right. I know you. It's Violet.
He looks at you, kind of funny, and he's like,
I turn the ring off so that he gets a flash of me, and then I turn it back on.
his eyes go wide, and he kind of like
That's
looks
right.
around. He's like,
Chill. Cool. Ow.
Violet, what are you doing here?
That is a long story. I will fill you in, but for now, what happened here? We're trying to get back to Verkhova.
What are you doing? Were you not in Galebreak? How did you?
No, I've been on the road for a while. I know. Hey.
Sorry.
You're doing great.
There's been Violet, a catastrophe in Galebreak. The city is gone for all intents and purposes. It's gone. And I have all of these people. Oh, Violet. A couple of days ago, in the middle of the night, the sky fell. The sky fell on Galebreak.
Skyfall.
Oh, Violet, it was
Take a deep breath.
horrible.
Wait. You're saying the city is gone because the sky fell on it.
Intents and purposes, it's a pile of rubble. It's not livable.
How many people survived? Varen, how did you survive?
Lucky? The destruction was widespread, but it wasn't quite as severe in some places. My tower in the central part of the town was able to stay relatively standing, but definitely damaged enough that I didn't feel safe staying there. And we left some people behind just to keep watch and see if they can continue to find survivors. And I came here with this group. We were able to get the hover. Thankfully, the hover rail was not. The cars were not in the city at the time, and they were able to come back. And so we were going to send this crew to Verkhova. I sent word ahead that we had refugees coming. And then we got here, and somehow the bridge is destroyed as well. This whole area seems to just be prone to chaos. But
Okay, take a deep breath. I'm gonna grab his shoulders and like stare him in the eyes, be like, take a deep breath. Now, how many nights ago, you're the only person I know who can give us this information. How many nights ago exactly did this happen?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. And for our party, what were we doing 2 nights ago? Sailing still?
You were like, no, you were kind of like wrapping up, or like you were just about to go do the facility.
Okay. And then still holding his shoulders, I'm just gonna be like, and Varen, it's okay if you don't know. What about my family? Were they in Verkhova?
No. Your parents and your brother were not in Galebreak. They hadn't been for some time, actually, but I don't know what happened to your estate. It can't be
Okay,
good.
I give less than 2 shits about an estate. Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna like take my hands off his shoulders and be like, we're also going to Verkhova. We can help you get these people there. I'm gonna look back at Vel and Dev. Or at least we have to cross too. We have to get across this bridge.
Well,
How many?
real quick, to give you some perspective, Jess, it's a lot of people. This is a third of a large city that has become scattered amongst the banks of this river.
Like
I'll
tens
look
of
around.
thousands, hundreds of thousands?
Yeah.
What are we dealing with?
I would say, I would say probably like around 7,000 to 8,000 people.
Woo! Okay. So with that in mind, in my head it was like a handful. Like 15 or so were there at the moment. Okay.
But he hears you kind of like musing about this, and he goes, "No, the Meridian Council said they would send ships up to meet us. The large transports should be able to help these people. They sent a clipper up to deliver some of these soldiers to help me keep order for the time being. These people are hungry, and they're scared, and they're traumatized. But in a few days' time, whenever these ships get here, we should be able to get them to move. But until then, we have nowhere for them to sleep. We have nothing to feed them."
How did the bridge fall?
I don't know. The first car almost crashed right into it. We were thankfully able to alert the others behind it. By the time we got here, it was destroyed. I don't know if it was destroyed in the same night as Galebreak.
Okay.
It's a long way, but
Do we still have the mental link up?
No.
No.
So, okay. Baron, the sky fell. Did you see anything, hear anything, smell anything? Did it seem like something was blocking out the sky? Like you couldn't see the stars?
his eyebrows raise a bit, and he says, "Yes, except the stars were there, but it's like they were drowning.
I'm gonna look at Dev and Vel and Jasper.
I'm not there. I'm with my people, probably away.
You're with your
You
people,
haven't
okay.
approached the camp?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm probably with my people on the outskirts because I don't want to bring them close to the Legion guards.
Okay. Okay.
What direction was that thing moving when we saw it?
Yeah.
When you saw it, it was coming from the east.
So yeah, that makes sense.
So it would have gone right over Galebreak, realistically, or close to it.
Yeah.
Viren, what caused the destruction? What happened? You said there was destruction, but was it an army that attacked? Was it...
No, no, it was thunder itself. It was horrible, screaming wind. It ripped buildings. It tore families from their loved ones' arms, and the sky fell on us.
Who's left in the city right now?
There's a handful of folks. We left behind those to help continue to search for survivors amongst the rubble. There were some who were too stubborn and just didn't want to leave what was left of their homes.
Sounds like Florida.
Damn.
I can say it. I'm from there.
Okay. This is a shock. I'm in shock. Well, we have nothing to help you with. We don't have enough food. We don't have enough boats.
Oh
But
no.
when we
Violet,
get to
I wouldn't expect
Verkhova,
you to.
I know, but when we get to Verkhova, we'll make sure that the council sends the aid that they promised. That
thank
I can
you.
do.
How do you plan to get to the city?
I don't know. I guess above game we have to trek, right? It seems like we just have to walk there.
I mean, it depends. So let me just pull up.
Yeah.
Opening the map. Yes. So I mean, you could either trek from this point, which would take a little bit longer. There is still a hover rail.
Yeah.
That like does go up to this spot.
Okay.
That you could potentially be able to join them on.
Okay.
The biggest problem that these people face, right, is that they're on the north side of the river, and the river is large and aggressive.
Look who's
So
on
they,
the
like-
wrong side of the river.
Never.
So they don't really have the means to get across and hop on the hover rails on the other side. So
Hypothetically speaking, how long would it take us as one boat to ferry them across?
10 people
Too
at
long.
a time.
trying to like do math
Too long.
here. Like what?
Okay.
I'm
Are
assuming.
there, Viren, are there any that need immediate assistance from facilities that only the capital could provide? Or is everybody here capable of holding out?
We do still have injured folks. We have some healers that are working as best they can to help them. But he kind of looks at you, Violet, and he says, "But you know how things are in Gilbreak, Violet. some people fall lower on the priority order. And unfortunately, even amongst the chaos, there are those who insist on maintaining that social hierarchy even now. So he like kind of like hushes his voice and just like leans in. He's like, I know your family comes from the upper echelon, but if there's anything you can do, Violet, there are some people here who, well, I don't know if the healers and if the others will get to them in time, simply because of who they are.
You know that I don't give a damn about any hierarchy. Who here is still setting that precedent?
Well, lots of people. He like looks around. He's like, the soldiers for one.
I'm fuming.
If you go to the outskirts of the camp, you may find some individuals who could use some help.
Sal,
Send anyone who needs help to the outskirts. Baron. Dev?
sidebar, Sal? Sidebar?
Yeah.
Conflap? I really appreciate what you're trying to do here. I don't think we have time. We have already a boat of refugees that need our help already. There's too many people here to help anyways. I know you want to stick it to the man. The best place to do that is where the man lives, in Verkhova. Can we get our business done there and then see what we can do, send help from there?
We can put ourselves on the right side of the river and send the captain back to pick up the rest and bring them, see that they're shuttled into the capital to get the assistance that they need. We don't necessarily have to be with them ourselves, but we have access to a boat. We might as well use it.
I agree with Val. Dev, I would visit Galebreak. I would go there and I would see what's happening there and the injustice of what my parents would do to people who they deemed less than, who weren't part of our same social class. And I'm looking around at all these people. Can we just help the ones who are in most need? Who am I? God. Can we? I agree. We can't help them all. But the ones that Varen mentioned who will not receive any help because of who they are, can we just make sure that they're on Silas's boat first? And then once I know that, we can go.
I mean, if you feel this strongly about it, I don't know that I agree, but if you feel this strongly about it, then sure.
Let's get back and talk to the captain. Viren, I'll
Yeah.
turn back to him. See that those you're talking about. Bring them up the river to the west a little ways. You'll find a ship anchored up there. We'll take care of who we can.
I'll try. I could send some soldiers. Some of these people might not even be able to travel, but I'll see what I can do.
Don't.
I think that's
I'm not there.
Sal,
I think that's good enough.
Can you give Jasper a heads up? Thank you.
Yes. I'm
See,
gonna
we're already getting into trouble here. I don't like this.
I'm gonna look at Varen and be like, we need just give us 30 minutes.
Please, whatever you could do. And he kind of like turns back.
Okay.
Let's head back and talk to Silas.
Okay. So you guys are kind of like in the heart of the camp right now. So you start to make your way back out, and you continue to just like see and hear chaos all around you. As you're walking out, you do pick up the trace of one conversation. Valterra, that in particular catches your ear. So you hear a lot of people like crying out to soldiers, like begging, like asking, like, "What the hell do you want us to do?" Blah blah blah. You hear one voice call out, and he says, "Listen, dipshit. My mother has been waiting for someone to look at her. I've seen plenty of other people getting seen with just bumps and scrapes. She needs help." And the soldier kind of like quickly responds, and he's like, "Get out of here, blowhard. We'll see to the Ganassi when we see to everyone else. Wait your turn." And you turn and you look, and you see a young man standing there facing the soldier, wearing a blue kind of like shawl draped over him, as the shawl itself and his hair around him seems to be slowly shifting, almost like a breeze is slowly kind of like lifting it up.
He looks like an Air Ganassi, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I'll stop and head over in his direction. Whether or not the two with me follow is up to them, but I'll break off and head over in his direction.
Okay.
Trying to keep us together, so I'll follow. And I'm assuming
Alright.
Sal will come as well.
Bit of herding cat situation, but it's
I was
fine.
gonna say, I feel like, yeah, like.
Yeah, I'll walk up and put a hand kind of on his shoulder as he's finishing arguing with the guard or the soldier.
He like jumps and he like spins around as if he's ready to sort of like, it's like, if someone's got a problem, like I'm ready to, you know, deal with it type of vibe.
Easy, easy. What's going on?
My mom got hurt. I think both of her legs are broken. It's been hard enough getting her down here, and these stupid idiot soldiers, he says kind of loudly so that the soldier that had been talking to him, which was still in earshot, can hear him. And he goes, "But these stupid idiot soldiers won't send anyone to help her."
Where is she?
She's over here on the edge of camp.
I turn to Vel and I ask him, how important is this to you?
You're welcome to return to the ship. I can meet you there. That's all I say in response. And then I immediately follow him in the direction that he's going.
I give another sigh and I follow.
I follow as well. I look at Dev and I just nod, and like we're gonna go as fast as we can.
Okay. I'm gonna, as we approach, I'm kind of just gonna like move both of them out of the way and kneel down next to her, and just without words, just immediately do healing word on her.
So basically this young man leads you over to a very shoddy collection of they're barely tents. They're just like tarps kind of just hanging over people, like hung from, you know, branches of shrubs, whatever they could find. And you see there there's an older gentleman kind of seated next to this woman who's laid out on the ground. He's kind of looking around, sort of keeping just like a slight watch of everything that's happening around him. And there's a younger girl there holding the woman's hand, kind of like giggling and just like whispering things as the woman kind of has like a slight smile on her face. And the young man who kind of led you over is like, "Yeah, that's her." And so you kneel down, and the girl kind of looks at you, and she just goes, "Oh, you're beautiful." To you,
My annoyance disappears for a minute, and I just give her a smile.
She's also very talented.
Words of affirmation.
And I bet she can fix. Does it look like her granddaughter? Is this like a young girl that's with her?
No, it's probably like daughter.
Okay.
When I say young, I mean like 12, 13, not like a
Okay.
child.
Got it.
And I bet she can also help fix your mother up. No problem.
She like leans
I'll
over and
just
says,
I'll just kind of look at you, Davina.
she says,
I
Showtime.
she leans over to her mom and she goes, "Do you hear that, mommy? This pretty lady's going to help you. You're going to feel better." And
look
she,
at her
like,
mom
turns
and
up
I
and, like,
just
doe eyes like looks at you.
I give her a little show with my metal arm, and then I turn to her mom and I just say, "May I?"
She looks at you, and then she very quickly kind of like shoots a glance up at what you would presume to be her husband, partner, and you now just notice that he is looking daggers at you. And she looks at him
Does
and she
he
just looks back at
recognize
you.
me?
She looks at him and then she kind of like, anything you can do to help is greatly appreciated, dear.
Okay, I'll do healing word on her then.
Okay. So you cast healing word.
Mhm.
She takes like a little bit of a deep breath, and she pulls herself up a little bit and like kind of grimaces, and she's like, oh, well, it's not perfect, but it's better.
It's what I can do.
And the young girl looks at you again, and she kind of just like,
Are these all Ganassi?
these are all Ganassi.
Oh,
Air, specifically?
Huh?
They're all air, specifically?
Yes, they all kind of have the same similar features. And so now the young man looks at you kind of like amazed, and he's like, wow, I didn't think you could help so quickly, and I'm sorry, I didn't think Avila would be so eager to help with Ganassi, but I thank you.
Well, full disclosure, I probably wouldn't have, but
I
At
elbow
this
you.
point, I'll drop my hood so he can see the sort of rock-like hair that I have, signifying me as an Earth Ganassi.
He kind of like, his shoulders just sort of like drop a little bit, and he kind of looks at you and he goes, Drowworm or Roaming Peaks?
Drowworm.
this is like the Jersey Turnpike question.
He's like, wow, okay, well, man, am I glad we ran into you. Oh, I'm so sorry. He like points to himself and he goes, I'm Zephyr. This is my mother, Ophelia. And she kind of like gives another smile. And he goes, this is my father, Kyron, and this is Severa. And it's like the little girl just sort of like,
Well, it's nice to meet you, but I'm afraid we don't have great news. It seems like you all are trying to get to Verkhova, but the Ganassi have no respect in that city, I can guarantee you that.
no, they don't. Unfortunately, things are not great up north either. The Empire has been ratcheting up their presence in the roaming peaks, and it's bleeding over now into some of the plains. And well, Galebreak, for all its troubles, was always good enough. But with that gone now, we don't really have too many other options. But
The Drowworm, and Scarport are still. I mean, I know the Earth Ganassi there would accept you all. It might be a better bet than trying to get to the capital. I'm trying to get to the capital, and I don't want to.
Right. He looks at his family, and he looks at Davina and Violet, and he says, do you mind just keeping watch over her for a second, just in case she needs anything else?
Sure.
Like,
Great. And he
Sure.
kind of just takes you, Valterra, and just like pulls you off a little bit.
I'll just hold up like a. Just give me a
Quickly.
second.
And he looks at you and he goes, I know you say you don't want to go to Verkhova, but I have to ask why you're going to Verkhova with 2 Vila?
There's information and resources that they have access to that we need. There are significant problems we're trying to address, and for reasons that continue to escape my understanding, this is the group that I'm addressing them with, and so far it's been very effective, but it confuses me as much as it does you. You have concerns?
You can see he's sort of... Give me an insight check.
while he
Oh.
does that, I'm gonna do
Oh,
prestidigitation for the little girl and just give her like a magical sparkler that she can play with.
Her eyes light up, and she sort of like takes her hand, and she's like moving it very like majestically through the air with the sparkler, and she's like,
Oh. Do I see any
for-
bags, like purses or bags around? Sorry.
Do you see
Sal,
any purses or bags?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple like little pieces of like luggage and other stuff.
Not what you think.
No,
I'm gonna
it's-
take.
Yeah, you're
I'm
gonna
gonna take
take
out
their
some gold
shit.
coins.
Nope.
No.
Reverse
I'm gonna take out some of
pickpocket.
my own
She's put pocketing.
and sneakily add some gold into their bags.
How much?
I'll give them. I got a lot. I'll give
You really have
them.
no gold.
I got like
Christian.
2,000 gold in last session. And I kept it all.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. We split it.
No? Oh, damn.
You know, I very much
Um,
made sure you remember you tried to hold it, and it was like that's like 100
tried.
pounds of
Yeah,
gold.
it's like
Yes,
literally
you did do
pounds and
that.
pounds of gold. That's right.
So
Anyway.
I have like 478 gold. So I'll give them 25 gold. I'll sneak 25 gold
Okay,
into their
go
bag.
ahead and make a sleight of hand check for that.
does she get advantage because I gave the girl the sparkler? Not that
Yes,
she needs
that's-
it.
I think that's fair. Yes.
My first roll was a 13, and my sleight of hand is plus 11, so like 24. So we'll just keep it there.
Yeah, you go ahead and you slip it in. Okay, so sorry, Eric. Give me your insight.
14 on the insight.
14. You can tell he is... It's not so much that he's, like, distrusting you in what you're saying. He seems to be warring with himself a little bit on how much he's supposed to share with you.
I assure you, those I travel with and myself have no allegiances within the capital.
He goes, what about allegiances outside the capital?
Well, that gets a little murkier, I won't lie to you. Do you have something that you're concerned about? A particular group?
Well, he leans in really close at this point, and when he does, you can actually feel some of that perpetual breeze that's sort of always like it's a very soft wind kind of against your stony face. And he leans in and he says, well, as shit's been going down up in Galebreak, we've been having some of the dwarves come through, and they've they've been telling us that, well, there's a resistance brewing.
A resistance to the Empire?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that the new emperor plans to shake shit up in a way that his dear old mommy had no interest in. They're trying to expand. They're trying to make things worse for folks like us. The dwarves are Exhibit A. The shit that they're telling me from their home that got sucked into the Empire, it's unsettling. So, to answer your question, why am I going to Verkhova, even though we're not welcome there? Because, I don't know, I want to see what I can do to help, and apparently that's where the Resistance leadership, at least, has set up shop.
So anyway, we start blasting.
I can respect that, but bringing your family along with you is unsafe.
Well, that wasn't the plan until, you know, this.
I understand. I would love to know more about this organization that you're talking about. I think perhaps our goals would be aligned, but I also know that our time in Verkhova is probably limited. We're in a bit of a hurry. But perhaps, I don't know, maybe you could... I don't know how long we'll be in the capital for. But perhaps if we could get you over there, maybe I could stay in contact. You could tell me more about what you learn.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But send your family up north, northwest. Send them up to the Drow Worms, send them up to Scarport, but don't let them stay in the capital if this is your plan.
he kind of like nods and he's like, okay, I'll try to find a way to do that.
Well, you know, the Earth Ganassi, if you send them up there, we're always pretty good at turning over the right stones. And I'm gonna kind of flourish. I still have 1,850 gold pieces worth of gemstones. And I'm going to take out, let's call it about 50 gold pieces worth of a couple of gemstones, which is probably honestly not that many gemstones, I would imagine. But I'll kind of like, with a little bit of a flourish, we'll kind of pull them out and hand them to him.
he kind of like looks at them and he's like, and he like looks around because he's like wants to make sure no one else sees them. So he kind of like holds them and he's like, this could help. Yeah.
We could also
That's to get them out and to get you in.
we could
Yes, sir.
we could send their family back with Silas. He's going back to Scarport.
We'll have to have the discussion, but yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're not here. But no, that's kind of what I was thinking as well.
Oh, you're right. I'm not here. My bad.
But also, if you're able to, send to me whatever information you can about what's going on with this alternative group.
Yeah, no, I mean, what I've heard from the dwarves so far, whenever I ask how to find these people, apparently the sort of like secret phrase or thing that signifies that you're trying to find them is, have you sat in the cardinal's nest?
Interesting.
So I know you're only in Verkhova for a short time, but maybe that can help you?
It could. Good to know. Okay, well, go get your family and keep that hidden.
Sir, he's like, and then he goes, oh, here, can real quick, he just kind of like shuffles you back back to his family. Because he's like, oh shit, that's right, we just left them sitting there, and you have the other two
Yeah.
hands there.
So with the little girl, I'm going to be talking to her and be like, so to really kill someone, what you want to do is you want to stab them here and
Violet.
She's sitting there, and she's like this.
You know
I'll
what to
look
do
back
now.
to
Okay.
Zephyr.
So Zephyr kind of like leans over and whispers something to his father, who kind of, again, sort of like looks at you all. This man has not said a word so far this entire time, and he looks back at Zephyr and he gives like a very slight nod. So Zephyr goes over to his bags. He opens a pocket, notices 50 extra gold pieces in there.
25.
Sort of like 25. Sorry.
25.
Sort of like looks, and then kind of like shakes it off for a second, reaches farther in, and he pulls something else out, and he walks over to you, Vel, and he kind of like takes your hand, and he drops something in it, and he says, you helped my family a lot, and if you can help me get them sanctuary, we have to thank you in return. This has been something that has been in our family for a little while, but we don't have much use for it anymore. But I'd love to share it with another Ganassi. And so you reach down and you look at your hand. There's a string. At the bottom of the string, sort of like in like a necklace, right, like a pendant, is a beautiful opal stone that is translucent, almost looks like cloud-like, with a sharp, jagged, sort of like explosion, like veins of blue that branch out from the middle of it. And he says, this is the storm's eye.
What is it?
Another way for you to fly.
He goes, it's a reminder that us Ganassi always carry the power of the sky with us. It can help you in a fight.
Well, I'm almost certain I'll be seeing a couple, 2, 3 more of those. Thank you. Maybe I'll be able to give it back to you one day.
You can add the storm's eye. I'll make this. I didn't have time. I'll make this for you, Eric. But
Okay.
for whoever is wearing or carrying it, you have resistance to lightning damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
You learn the shocking grasp cantrip.
Ooh.
Ooh, is right.
Neat. Okay. Well, thank you. And if you head up to Scarport, look for... I'm going to give him the name of the woman at the mission that we were working with, who I've forgotten her name, somewhere back in my
Prudence.
notes.
Prudence.
Prudence, yes. Look for Prudence at the mission there, and tell them that we sent you. She'll help you if you need anything.
Will do.
Otherwise, and I'll explain to him where my family lives in the Drow Worm, and say if you end up in the Drow Worm, look for them there. You know, the regular. You're from Connecticut? Oh my god, who do you know?
Literally, though.
And with that, I'll take the other two and head back in the direction of the ship.
Okay. as you make your way back, everyone is still there. A couple of the elves look a little bit bored, but they're all safe.
Jasper.
Yeah. What the hell is going on?
I think whatever we saw in the sky that night, I think it did some significant damage to Gale's place. Gale break.
Gale break.
Gale's place.
Gale's place.
And it's possible it even was responsible for destroying the bridge, though we don't have any information on that. Regardless, there are quite a few refugees, and we have to figure out what to do with the ones that we rescued from Dawnbrook. And then we need to get across the river ourselves and get to the capital.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. It looks like I was mostly worried that the guards were gonna like be like investigating people, but it's mostly like they're just annoyed with everyone.
I think it's just purely peacekeeping at this
Yeah,
point.
so I think we should be able, if we just like, at least this group, if we can just get them around this mass of people to the other side of this mass of people, they should be able to just get to Verdana on foot.
Let them hike.
Yeah. There's nothing else
And
we
are you
can really do.
prepared? Are you prepared to send your family with them?
Yeah, that was always kind of the point. I was hoping to have a few more days with them, but you know.
I mean, I think we need to head to Tilo Asari after Verkhova anyway, so
Yeah.
hopefully
yeah.
we can meet up with them there again soon.
That was always the plan, so.
So, well then I think that's perhaps for the best. I know, is there not a rail line headed to Verdana once they keep following the river?
There is. I don't know how much I trust it, considering everything, so I'm probably going to tell them to stay off the roads. It might.
I mean, that's a tough walk though, right? Isn't that the desert there?
Yes,
Oh, it's just straight through the desert?
pretty much.
Unless they want to go further south and hike along the mountains or over the mountains.
And I don't have.
Where you guys are
Yeah.
now to Verdana, it's a 360 mile hike.
360 mile hike.
Oof. And they don't have supplies, and they're still recovering.
Yeah, never mind.
Maybe it's best if we send them to the rail line and they take that to Verdana.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so risky.
It is, but so is walking for 300 miles through the desert.
Yeah. They have guns.
They can protect themselves at the very least.
Yeah. Alright, I'll talk to him.
I'm gonna go talk to Silas in the meantime.
Okay.
Alright, Silas, here's the deal. You were gonna get us to Verkhova. Obviously, that's no longer possible. You were
Right?
headed back to Scarport, correct? That's where you were going back after this?
Yes.
Okay. I'll offer you some additional gold for the few days that you'll have to hang around here. But I was wondering if it's possible to, one, have you ferry a couple of people across the river after us, and two, bring some people back with you to Scarport on the return trip.
As long as they're good company, I was afraid I would be lonely by my lonesome self on this boat.
We would never subject you to that. So I'll explain to him like the group of people that we're trying to get back across, and then the group of people that are going to go with him to back to Scarport, and then whatever he charges for the return trip or those ferry trips, I will pay.
I also think we should advise that he does it at night, right? Or just like where the Delusion Empire soldiers can't see him doing the ferrying.
We can explain to him the risks of
okay.
everything, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
I trust that he will be able to figure that out.
Cool.
He does, you know, he hears your plan and he looks at you and he says, well, don't forget, Port Sever is not letting. I don't know if the gate is still up, blocking the river. So, is there another spot before then that you want me to?
That's
let them
right.
off?
Yes. Perhaps it's better than if you drop them in the Drower Mountains. Uh, perhaps Tolgita? Is that still part of the
Tolgita?
Empire?
It is, but it's like one of like the fringe frontier. I mean, you're
Okay.
from Tulgita, like you,
Yeah.
like you're comfortable there. It's a fairly
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Port
Then I'll
Sever
explain.
is a major city because it's one of the like endpoint cities, but
Yeah. Okay.
Tulgita's flyover country.
Yeah. All right. I'll have him then maybe drop them off with where the Earth Ganassi live in the area.
Oh sure. Okay. So who am I shepherding across the river now?
Well, for now it's going to be us, just this core group, and once we're over, there'll be another group or two on the far bank of the river that you'll have to ferry across before returning to Scarport.
So okay.
You may
Question.
see.
Remind me, like
Yeah.
who's that? Like,
So we're going across because Davine is very concerned about time, as she should be.
right.
So we're going across as soon as we're done with this conversation, essentially, and then the injured who can't make it on their own,
Right. Okay.
we're
They're
ferrying
in it,
them
snippling
across.
down. Yeah.
Right. So we'll explain all that to him, and then obviously the Ganassi that we were talking to will be the return trip to Scarport.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Or Tolkita.
Loud and clear.
So if you see one gold cloak, his name is Varin. He's a friend.
Okay.
He's a friend.
Okay. Jasper, we'll let you talk to
Yep. So we're just
them
gonna
and figure out your plan.
We're just gonna lead them around. I'm just gonna lead them to the other side of the mass of people and tell them to follow the river until it makes it to the train tracks, and then take the train to Verdana.
Okay. They pretty much go without a fight. Your wife and your daughter hold back for a second.
Yeah.
And Hazel's kind of is. She's sad, but also like, she's telling you as much. She's like, I know you have to do what you have to do, and I'm the one who told you that you should do it, but it doesn't make this any easier.
No, but our next stop after Verkhova is Tilosari, so it feels less like a goodbye and more like a see you soon.
Kind of smile and nods, but then Juniper is like, I don't understand why I can't come with you.
Because you need to protect everybody on the way home.
Can I have a gun?
Yeah, that was always the plan.
Oh, did you give her a gun permanently?
Well, I mean, all of the elves technically have guns right now.
Oh, that's right. You emptied the armory. and
We
gave them
emptied the
guns.
armory.
That's
All
right.
the elves have
That's
guns.
right.
That's right.
So, like, yeah, she has a gun. All of the elves have guns.
This campaign's fucking crazy.
You're the one who did it.
What if, I know,
Elves
it makes
with
me laugh.
guns.
It's like, what if we take the elves and we give them all guns? Like, we can... Okay. So, so she kind of like, you tell her that she's gonna be the protector, and she kind of like looks at you like a little smugly, and she takes the gun out of her holster on her side and sort of whips it around, and then also you notice she now has a scabbard on her right side, and she pulls out a violet-hued dagger that she twirls in her thumb before spinning it and putting it back in the scabbard. And she
God
goes,
damn it, Violet.
I can do that.
Also, thank you. I pull her in for a hug.
She like goes, she's like, and then within a couple of seconds, she's giving a very tight hug back to you. And then she pulls back and she goes, If it's another 4 years before I see you, I'm gonna kill you myself.
Well, if it's another 4 years before you see me, I'm probably already dead, but point taken.
Okay.
Yeah, now you feel bad, don't ya?
And she joins her mother, and they head back with the group.
As Hazel turns to like go away, I'm gonna grab her arm and pull her into one more kiss.
And the music swells.
And we fuck. No, we don't fuck.
No!
We don't fuck. We don't fuck. We just kiss.
Right.
I do smack her butt as she's walking away, though.
Yeah.
They go on. You watch them as they disappear into some of the shrubs and the other foliage along the southern
Does
bank
Micah go with them?
of the Titanic River. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel very confident with who is there to protect them. I send them with all of my supplies because I can forage whatever I need to until we get to Verkhova.
Weirdly enough, elves with guns is my next Magic the Gathering deck.
Yeah! Yeah!
Whoop, whoop.
Alright. So now you guys are heading back over to the southern bank.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guns
Okay.
don't kill people. Elves kill people.
Elves kill people.
With guns.
With guns.
Pow.
Okay, yeah, we're heading across the river with Silas.
Alrighty. So he goes and he drops you across the river. No problem. He lets you guys out along the bank. You notice, so the rail coming off of the bridge is destroyed. But as you continue to make your way down, you do see intact tracks, and there are a couple cars that are actually stationed there, with like a handful of attendees / guards kind of like hanging out there.
I'll look to Davina and kind of head in their direction and see if I can get her to follow me.
Quick question. Did we ever find, like, you know how Bitchy McGee was talking about, like, elves having papers or whatever?
Adonia.
Yeah. Did we ever, like, see what those papers are supposed to look like?
I feel like I would I know? No, because wasn't aware.
That's like a weird new thing that you aren't.
Yeah,
really
I didn't know
sure
if we
what
maybe
she's
saw
talking about.
in, like, the bunch of papers we went through at the facility, if we saw, like, elf registration papers. Okay.
Because these elves were never technically like
Yeah.
out in Deletion society.
Mm-hmm.
Documentation was probably not what they were looking for. A paper trail.
Okay.
All right. This car is headed back into the city.
Are you out? Are you gonna go talk to the folks?
If we have to, if I could like walk on and have them follow me and look like I know what I'm doing and that I belong there, I would rather do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
All right. So that's sort of like the formation, the what you guys are doing. You make your way over. You see there are two attendants that are kind of more not like, yeah, I guess they can call them engineers. There's an older guy. There's like an older human male, and a younger halfling that's kind of just like hanging out there. And then there's one human male soldier who's kind of like lazily leaning against the car.
Yeah, I'll just walk up and ask them, there's room for me and my guest. on here?
The halfling kind of like gathers himself and he sees you and he's like, hello, miss. Are you with the refugees? How? He like kind of like looks across the river at the camp and he's like, we have ships coming to help them soon.
No, we're not part of the refugees. I live in the city and I need to get there immediately. There's paperwork I need. There's people I need to talk to.
Go ahead and make persuasion.
Dev.
25.
The older gentleman kind of comes over and he like takes his elbow and he's sort of like, because his elbow is like head height of the halfling, he kind of like bumps him in the back of the head and he goes, fucking idiot, don't you know who that is? That's Davina Sinclair. And
Gotcha.
the halfling
Davina
the
Sinclair.
halfling just like looks flushed, like he's not sure, like he's like, am I supposed to know who that is? And the older gentleman is like, madam, apologies, it's been a little chaotic here recently. If you need service into the city, we do have a cart available.
Private?
He looks at you and he kind of goes, it can be.
Yeah, I will slip him some gold.
Just turn Violet over and shake her.
Yeah, I'll give him about 5 gold.
A few feathers shake out too. Eric.
With a raised eyebrow and a stern look.
He takes the gold and he sort of like flips it and he kind of puts it down and he takes a quick scan of the group and he's just like, yes ma'am, come on in. And he opens the door and ushers you inside.
Okay.
You also notice that the soldier has barely moved from his post.
Is he
He's just, like,
alive?
he's just like not paying attention.
Is he alive?
Yeah.
No, Violet killed him somehow.
Is a birdie.
Is he unalive?
We can have birdies thing.
Do we
Yeah.
get so we get our own private like rail car?
Yes. And so the engineer climbs in. He sort of shouts at the halfling. He's like, you know, keep watch, just in case anything else comes from across the river.
How much
kind of
gold did we
looks
give
you all-
them for the tickets? Sorry.
We didn't.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Davina gave him 5 gold to basically like let her in and take the
Okay.
car.
Okay.
And so he kind of like looks and gives like a very slight little half bow and he's like, well, make yourselves comfortable. Should be there in about 4 or 5 hours.
Thank you.
I'm gonna slip in another 3 gold into his hand as I board and be like, for your discretion. You didn't see us.
Tips this little engineer's cap, goes back in. You all enter the cart, sit in, these are sort of like, the front has all benches, the back has some benches and some tables. So you all can kind of like spread yourselves out how you want. The engineer goes, he starts to like turn a few dials. He's hitting a few buttons on a console. You start to hear like a, I don't know if this card's like blocking out when I make noise.
Yeah, it is. It thinks it's background noise.
Just think of like sort of that magnetic kind of like wah, 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 like sound that kind of happens.
The hum.
Yeah, the hum. And the cart slowly rises on the tracks, and as it does, a glow starts to kind of like come in from the windows as the sun continues to set. A soft blue glow kind of like halos the bottom of the cart, and very slowly, very smoothly, the cart begins to move forward along the tracks. You guys make your way, slowly picking up speed, picking up speed until you reach your steady travel speed. Make your way down the track as you head your way to the capital of the Delesian Empire.
Train
That
heist.
is where we
Train
will call
heist.
it
Train heist.
for today.
Train
Woo!
Love the
heist.
train.
Ooh.
I'm just imagining
the
like if there's
Trans-Siberian
AC
Railroad.
in there. Yeah, there's AC in there. There's beautiful windows. Sal's like kicked up her legs. Like I feel like,
Meal service.
yeah.
Yes.
And the city awaits. Oh, Jasper, you had to say goodbye to your family.
Yeah, I mean, it was bound to happen. We knew it was coming. Just wasn't supposed to be that soon.
Yeah. We have a lot of shit to do in the city, y'all.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Woo!
Yeah.
I think you don't we only have a week? Don't we play next Sunday?
I think it is next Sunday, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
Alright.
Well, we
I'm
better.
glad we got it in. I know it was a process to get this in, but
Sorry.
I have to run,
Okay.
unfortunately,
That's fine.
because
Alright.
I have to go pick something up before the pharmacy closes.
Yeah, go do that.
Well,
Yeah.
see ya, Eric.
All
Also,
right.
do we stop the stream, Michael?
Oh, yeah, thanks,
Not yet.
everybody, for
Now we
tuning
will.
Okay,
Alright,
bye.
Bye.
We'll call you next Sunday. Hey.